The mathematical miracle of the Quran. Though the code was initially discovered by examining the occurrences of Quranic initials in the initial chapters of Quran, there is a large number of much less complex parameters to the code. Here is a brief listing of some of them. 1. There are 114 chapters in the Quran, or 19 by 6. 2. The total number of verses in the Quran is 6,346, or 19 by 334. 3. Then you add the 30 different numbers which are mentioned in the Quran's text, i.e. one God, two brothers, etc. The total is 162,146 or 19 by 8,534. 4. The first statement in Quran, in the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, consists of 19 Arabic letters. Known as the Basmala, it prefaces every chapter except chapter 9. 5. Though missing from chapter 9, exactly 19 chapters later the Basmala occurs twice. Chapter 27 has this statement at its beginning and in verse 30. This makes the total number of times the Basmala occurs in the Quran 114, or 19 by 6. 6. Since there are 19 chapters between the missing Basmala and the extra one, the sum of those chapter numbers is a multiple of 19. The sum of any 19 consecutive numbers is a multiple of 19. But the total, 342, is also the exact number of words between the two occurrences of the Basmala in chapter 27. This number, 342, is 19 by 18. 7. Every word in the Basmala occurs throughout the Quran a number of times which is a multiple of 19. 8. The very first revelation that was given to the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, came as 19 words. 9. The total number of letters making up the 19 words of the first revelation is 76, 19 by 4. 10. Though they were the first revelation, these verses are placed at the beginning of chapter 96. This chapter is atop the last 19 chapters. 11. Chapter 96 consists of 304 Arabic letters, or 19 by 16. 12. The last chapter revealed, chapter 110, has 19 words, and its first verse is 19 letters. 13. God's name in Arabic, Allah, occurs in the Quran 2,698 times, or 19 by 142. 14. If you add the numbers of the verses where Allah occurs, the total is 118,123 or 19 by 6,217. 15. The main message in the Quran is that there is only one God. The number of times that the word one is used to refer to this concept of one God is 19. 16. The word Quran occurs in 38 different chapters, or 19 by 2. 17. The total number of times the Quran is mentioned is 57, 19 by 3. 18. Within the 114 chapters of the Quran, 29 of them begin with the Quranic initials discussed earlier. Intermixed between the first initial chapter, chapter 2, and the last initial chapter, chapter 68, are 38 non-initial chapters, or 19 by 2. 19. In that same group of chapters, from chapter 2 to chapter 68, there are 19 alternating sets of initialed and non-initialed chapters. 20. The total number of verses making up this group of chapters is 5,263, 19 by 277. 21. Within this group of chapters there are also 2,641 occurrences of the word Allah, or 19 by 139. Of course, that leaves 57, or 19 by 4, occurrences of that word outside of this group. 22. If you add the chapter and verse numbers of the 57 occurrences of Allah outside the initialed section, the total is 2,432 or 19 by 128, 23. There are a large number of discoveries having to do with the numbers of the chapters and verses. Many of them are very complex and interrelated. Here is a simple one to give you a feel for these discoveries. If you add the numbers assigned to all the chapters, plus the numbers assigned to all of the verses, plus the number of verses in the Quran, the total is 346,199 or 19 by 959. 24. If you look at the initial chapters separately and add the chapter numbers, verse numbers and number of verses, the total is 190,133, 19 by 10,007. Of course it follows that the total for the uninitialed chapters, 156,066, is also divisible by 19. There are a great many more discoveries, most of them more complex than the ones presented above. Additional discoveries continue to be made as Dr. Khalifa's work is carried on by the many students of pure Quran he left behind.